Hey everyone, how are you today on Saturday afternoon? Just going to let you know that we are talking about the loan application today. The loan application is a document that you're going to work with your either your private money broker or you're going to be applying directly to the lender. Some will have these online, some won't. It is as a private money broker, I have a pretty much a generic loan application. I use 4 pages. I'll quickly go over it. If you won't go over it specifically, you can download it in at facebook.com/groups/other people's money show. It's available for download. You can use it, go through it at your own leisure. I'm going to point out a few things for it. Some lenders will have a specific their own application. It could even be just 1 page, could be online, could be form fillable, things like that. So just to kind of quickly go over the one that I pretty much use all the time. Let me pull it up real quick. I do have it in Word. It is form fillable. So what you're going to look at is you're going to see that this is I'm going to have Nate Marshall Capital because that is actually my company, even as a broker, whether whether we act as a lender or I'm brokering. The loan officer is going to be up here. It's going to be like, say, if it's whatever loan company that I'm going through, lender, I'm going to put their information. I'm going to put my information over here as the broker, so it'll be the same information. You get down in here, was this a residential, commercial, first or second loan? Remember, real estate investing, it's hard to get a second, so you need to check with your private money broker or your lender to see if they do a second. Obviously, purchase price, loan amount, interest rate, the term. If I'm going to broker a deal for you, I'm going to know the qualifications and what you're going to qualify for at a particular lender. I've got, well, like I said, 1,341 lenders in my database. I normally will work with about a dozen, but I can go find stuff if there's a particular need. So let's say I get you 12, no interest for 12 months. I get that. I put if it's going to be a purchase of rehab or a purchase with cross collateral, if we're going to use additional properties, we'll have a separate video on that real quick, and I'll point you in the right direction and documents that explain it. If this is going to be a rehab, if there's refinance, if this is going to be a hold property for rentals, or this is going to be a flip, they want to know. It's different programs. The property address, legal description, things like that. If there's a current appraisal, any existing liens, describe improvements made or to be made. If it's to be made, obviously they'll look at the scope of work and the draw schedule, your contractor information. We'll have a separate videos on that. Uh, you know, you're gonna have the entity information. It's gonna be your LLC or corporation. It could be a trust. If there's a trust, there's some issues there we'll have to talk about. Who's eligible to bind the entity? Who's able to sign for it? What the bank information is? Your real estate owned. That's going to come off that real estate owned schedule. The details of the transaction. It's going to be like, is there a second mortgage? What's the borrower's closing costs? What was the earnest money? Things like that. They're going to be on these liens and all that. How the fund's going to be used, purchase and rehab. Generally, and most lenders will go up to 90% of the purchase price, and they'll give 100% of the rehab costs. They will not front you the first payment. You'll actually have to cover the first rehab draw and get reimbursed. However, I've got a way to show you how you can actually get money from the lender at closing, which you could then use to pay the labor. And if you open like accounts at Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that, you can actually cover the materials on that first draw. I do intend to pay it off. This is your exit strategy. You're going to use that same document that we already went over, the executive summary and exit strategy, which is all in one. There's one form that basically describes what you need. So that is your exit strategy. You want to go down here, and it's obviously going to be like the guarantors. Some lenders will want anybody that's over 10% ownership or somebody that's over 20%. It just depends on that particular lender. If I'm brokering for you and finding your money through the lender, I'm going to try to match it up to the situation at hand. If you've got three partners, one has 50%, one has 40%, the other one has 10%. We may not have to list the 10% at all. There's going to be information on the banks. We'll talk about Plaid. Plaid will verify bank accounts for reserves and things. They get into some questions. Are you a repeat borrowing guarantor? Any outstanding judgments, bankruptcy. Some will actually with judgments and bankruptcy, as long as the bankruptcy is discharged, they'll still finance you. You get down here if you owning stocks, bonds, things like that. This is a authorization to release information and credit authorization. I do have a separate credit application form. Some lenders require both a loan application and a credit application. So just keep in mind that if you're going direct to a lender, try to find that out before you submit your paperwork so you don't have any delays or issues. Obviously, you have to acknowledge it, and then they have to list all the guarantors. So this document's about 4 pages. It's it's extensive. It might take you about 30-40 minutes to fill it out if you got all the information. So you want to have a lot of this information already in your borrower's documents, in your documents folder, in your borrower's checklist. Just have all your regular documents, the 8 to 10 things you need, your bank information, all that stuff ready to go, and make sure that it's updated every 90 days, because most lenders want you to let them know what's going on in the last 90 days. So that's a pretty important thing. So like I said, you can go to the Facebook group and you can download this in the files tab under facebook.com/group/other people's money show, and I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to YouTube. A couple of things will be happening next 2 weeks. Got the 4K camera con out, so it'll be really good. Starting to learn how to do end screens, visuals, things like that, whiteboard. So over the next 2 weeks, a lot of stuff's going to be coming down the pike. Before I do a lot more advanced topics, I'll get all that stuff in place. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to me in the comments section. You can reach out to me on Facebook, or you can email me, Nate@natemarshallcapital.com. Thank you. I appreciate it.